Today's lesson, writing, voice is off, thank you. Writing linear inequalities. So this chapter we focus on inequalities and we'll review a few things. Our objective is to write inequalities and represent solutions of inequalities on number lines. So first off, to graph on a number line. If they want us to graph 3.5, I would go to where 3.5 is. There's 3 in between 2 and 4, right? And 3.5 would be halfway between there. And I put a dot. If you want to write 3.5 above it, that'd be great. That's it, okay? Number 2, negative 0.4. So I would have to go left or right of 0. Left, good. Okay, well, what is this first tick mark then? If the second one is negative 0.8, yeah, negative 0.4, right? That's what we need to graph. Put a closed circle, a dot on it, okay? Absolute value of 4 is what? 4. That's what we're graphing. Put a dot. Pretty straightforward. Absolute value of 1/2. 1/2, that's the distance from 0. So we go to positive 1/2 and put a dot. Comments, questions, concerns? Pretty simple, straightforward. Okay. Vocabulary, inequality, a mathematical sentence that compares expressions. So, for example, we could have 5 is less than 10. That's an inequality, okay? Solution of an inequality, a value that makes the inequality true. The solution set, the set of all solutions of an inequality. So we could have a solution that works, just one single number that works for that inequality, or we can have a whole group of numbers, okay? So we'll talk about those a little bit further as we go to solve them. Complete the statement. Board's that way. Thank you. Complete the statement with less than, greater than, or equal to. So we have 2 is blank compared to absolute value of negative 6. What would we put there?
6 is bigger.
Yeah. What is it going to open towards? The 6. There we go. Good. Okay? Because the absolute value of negative 6, remember, is 6. Awesome. Okay? What about negative 1 and negative 5?
Towards 1.
Good. So it would read, let's write the words. 2 is less than absolute value of negative 6. Okay? This other one, negative 1 is greater than negative 5. Last one. What will we put there? Equal to. Good. Absolute value of negative 7 is equal to absolute value of 7. Remember when we talked about equations and how when it was equal to something, it would say like is 5, and that meant equal to 5, right? This has is less than, is greater than. So that word is kind of helping you realize it's an inequality, okay, for later on. Turn the page. Up here we have our symbols, okay? Inequality symbols. We have less than. We could say is less than. This could be is fewer than. When we go to graph this, it's an open circle, so I would not fill it in. It would be an open circle when I graph. This symbol is read as is less than or equal to, is at most, is no more than. Notice they all start with is as well. Closed circle for this one. If it could be equal, we have to fill in the circle. Greater than symbols, you have is greater than, is more than, and you have is greater than or equal to, is at least, is more than. Okay, the difference between those, the one that is not equal is an open circle. The one that could be equal is a closed circle. Okay? Write each sentence as an inequality. So we're going to use those that we have above and write an inequality here. They're giving us words. They want the math here. That's what the inequality piece is. So it says a number w minus 3.5 is more than negative 2. So we have a number w minus 3.5. So let's write it. W minus 3.5. And then it says is more than. If you need to reference the chart above, then reference it. But which way is my inequality facing? Is it? Okay, perfect. Is there a line underneath it or no? No, so it's just the greater than symbol. And then negative 2. There's my inequality. W minus 3.5 is greater than negative 2. Next one, 3 is at least a number x plus 5. Okay, well, is at least, 3 is at least. What is at least? What symbol? Okay, is at least 3 is at least a number x plus 5. Well, x plus 5, right? The last one, 0 is at most twice a number y plus 1. Okay, is at most. 0 is at most. Which direction? Towards the 0 or away? Away. A line or no? Yes, good. And then twice a number y plus 1. How do I write twice a number? Y. 2y plus 1. Good. Awesome. Fantastic. Okay. Next section says tell whether the given x value is a solution to the given inequality. Okay. So they're giving us an inequality, but they're also saying, hey, I solved it. Can you just check my work? That's all they're asking us to do. Okay. So if we look at this one here, we have x plus 8 is less than negative 3. This guy here, do you see that little semicolon? That separates my actual inequality from the answer that they think it is. They think x is equal to negative 4. So I have my inequality. Anywhere I see an x, I'm going to put a negative 4 and check to see if it's true or not. So let's rewrite it with negative 4 there. Plus 8 is less than negative 3. Well, what's negative 4 plus 8? 4. Is 4 less than negative 3? No, this is false. Okay, if this is false, then this answer, we would say x equals negative 4 is not a solution. Okay, that would be my final answer. And I'm kind of stealing their x equals negative 4, so I could just use it as my own sentence. Okay, I just say is not a solution because it came out to be false. What if it came out to be true? What do you think my answer would have been? Yeah, is a solution. Exactly, right? So false, not a solution. True, solution. So let's do the next one with number 12. We have negative 4.5x is greater than or equal to negative 21. There's our inequality, right? And then they're saying, okay, check if x equals negative 4 is a solution or not. What is the negative 4.5x, what operation am I doing there? Multiplication. So when I replace x with a negative 4, can I just write it like that? Ooh, no. What do I need? Parentheses. Yes. That way I don't accidentally subtract it when I should be multiplying it, because that would give me a very different answer. Okay? Make sure we're practicing writing down our steps. Okay? Each step should be written out. It's important right now to practice on these easier ones. As we get further in our mathematics, it gets more complex, but I promise it won't be hard if you learn how to write your steps now rather than later, okay? What did you guys get when you multiplied it? 18? 18 greater than or equal to negative 21, true or false? True, yay. So we would say, yeah, is a solution. Awesome. Nice. You guys help me out. What did we replace x with for number 13? -3. Okay. I agree with that. I like that. Next, what did you get when you did -3 minus 5? -8. I agree with that. Yeah, so -8 is greater than -9. Yes, that is true. So I agree with whoever said it was a solution. Nice. Awesome. What about number 14? True as well? Okay, so let's see. 2.5 times -3 is greater than, or sorry, is less than or equal to 7. What did you guys get when you multiplied those? 7.5, which, yeah, is also true. So is a solution. Nice. Flip the page. All right. These guys are asking us only to graph. So really similar to how we did before, but before we just had a number to graph. This time we have an inequality to graph. So I want to talk about the first one just a little bit, okay? It's saying y is less than or equal to 3, okay? Well, could it be equal to 3? Yeah, if I replaced it with like 3, right? That's a true statement. So 3 works, okay? Does 4 work? If I replaced my y with 4? No, because now we have a false statement. Okay. So what about if I replace it with 2? Yeah. 2 works? Okay, what about 0? Yeah, what about -3? Yeah. Okay, so do we have a pattern? What numbers and what direction work? Well, what's the first number that they are giving us here that will definitely work? 3. Okay, put a dot on 3. And because it can equal it, we're filling that dot in. If it was just less than 3 or bigger than 3, I'd have to use an open circle. But because it's equal, I'm filling it in, okay? Now, which direction were those numbers that did work? Were they to the left or to the right? To the left. To the left. So I know it's hard to see with pencil, so we're going to go up a little bit, and then you can draw your arrow above the line. Some people will make it squiggly, like this, so I could see it. However way that I'm able to see it, and you're pointing in the correct direction, I'm totally fine with that, okay? I just need to be able to see it visually, all right? What about the next one? We have 5/2 is less than x, okay? Well, what's 5/2? Where would that be? 2.5. Good. We can always change this guy to a decimal version if that's easier for us. Can everybody find 2.5 on their number line? Yeah, right between 2 and 3. Are we having an open circle or closed circle? Open. Good. Put an open circle on 2.5. Okay. What direction are we shading? Left or right? Well, let's test, right? So what if I test a point out and I say, okay, let's test 2 because that's to the left of it. So if I tested out 2, does that work? If I put a 2 here. 2.5 is less than 2. Is that true or false? False. So did that work? No. So going to the left isn't going to work for shading. Okay, let's test a different number. What number do you want to test this time? 4? Okay, let's test 4. That's to the right of our circle, by the way. Does that work? Is that true? 2.5 is less than 4. Yeah, that's true. Okay? So, do a squiggly here. Okay? Remember, we're talking about what is the x doing? What are possible answers for the x here, the y here, okay? The easiest thing sometimes is just plugging in. We have a nice visual. Test a number to the left and to the right. If it works, we shade in that direction. If it doesn't, we shade in the other direction that it does work, okay? What about number 17? Open or closed circle? Closed on what number? -2. Awesome. You guys rock. -2, closed circle. Got it. Are we shading to the left or to the right? To the right. Let's see. if I choose any one of those, I'm going to pick 0, okay? Because it's right there, right? 0 is greater than or equal to -2. Yes, that's true. That works, okay? I don't have to test a lot of points, just at least one to make sure I'm right. Last one. -4 is greater than y. Open or close circle? Open. What number?
-4.
Awesome. Are we shading left or right? Left. Okay. I only have one number visible to check, but that's fine. -4 is greater than -5. That is true. Okay. If I were to replace it with -3 there, that wouldn't hold true. Okay. So be careful. I think sometimes where people get confused is that you guys have learned a lot of inequalities as you were younger growing up. They always put the variable on the left-hand side. Well, 15 is on the left. Is 16 on the left? No. 17 was. Is 18 on the left? No. So you can't just go off of, like, pointing. I know a lot of you guys have learned how to point, and it just goes in the direction it points. We can't always do that because it's not always to the left. Okay? So be careful with that. All right. Word problems always look scary, but I promise they are not. They're super actually straightforward. The graph shows the height restrictions, h in inches for a ride at an amusement park. Write and interpret an inequality that represents the height restriction for the ride. If they are telling you to do two things, you need two answers. So first, we're going to be writing a restriction for that ride. And then second, we're going to be interpreting it, meaning what does it mean, okay? So what number has the circle on it? 48. Let's start there, okay? What letter do they want us for our variable? H. Do I care which side your H is on, technically? No, it doesn't matter. So do you want to put it first or second? First? Okay. Totally fine with that. I'm going to scoot my 48 over. All right, now I have to decide what inequality is going in between there. So all the numbers being shaded, what direction? I have 50, 52, 54. Are those bigger or smaller numbers? Bigger. So we would have H is greater. Is it going to be equal?
Yeah.
Yes. Why?
Because
Because it's a closed circle. Awesome. H is greater than or equal to 48. If you put the 48 first, it's going to look really similar, but it'll just have the symbol facing the other way. But if you notice, the symbol is facing what each time?
the arrow.
Yeah, the H, that H, right? Okay. It's got our bigger numbers always being eaten, okay? So what does it mean? Interpret it. Perfect. You got to be 48 inches or taller to ride the ride. Perfect. Let's write it. You must be 48 inches or taller to ride. Awesome. That's all that interpret means. Is just tell me what those numbers actually mean in this scenario. Okay? Number 20. The graph shows the age restriction A in years for a discounted movie. Write and interpret an inequality that represents the age restriction for the discounted movie. Okay. So again, we have write and interpret. So we're going to have two parts. All right. Looking at our graph, what number is our circle on? 12. Is it open or closed? Awesome. So we're not going to have an equal sign, right? And what letter do we need to use? A. Okay, so A and 12. And now I just need to know which inequality am I using? Greater than or less than? Less than, because look at all the numbers that are being shaded. 10, 8, 6, they're getting smaller. So we would say A is less than 12, okay? If you wrote it with the 12 first, would I still have that symbol opening up to the right? Trick question. No. It'll open. It always opens to the 12. So no matter which way you write it, it should be open towards the 12. So I don't care which way you write it, though. All right, interpret it. What does that mean? Who gets the discount? Under 12 years old gets the discount. Good. It's like a child ticket, right? It's like child meals. Excellent. Homework. Remember, either write your work in this notebook or in your spiral, but keep organized. Show your work practice writing your workout.